Hi all, welcome to another edition of King Joe's. We're up in my attic. Unboxing video. I got a couple hundred books to show off. I already pulled all the doubles off. This is everything that actually goes into my collection now. So we'll start off with The Authority, #1. The New Era Begins, The Authority, #1. Astro City, The Dark Age, #3, Book 1, #3. Azrael, #1. Bat Thing, #1. I think out of the Allegam, or whatever, whatever the hell you want to pronounce it. I think I need like 4 issues to finish off all of them now. An Astro City Special, Astra. Ambush Bug, #1. Ambush Bug Nothing Special, #1. Anarchy, Part 1 of 4, #1. After the Cape, #3. After the Cape 2, #1. #2. #3. A Distant Soil, 31. 25, 21, 19, Arcanium, #2, Arch Enemies, #4, Apocalypse Nerd, #6. Vertigo Pop Bangkok, #1. Black Lightning Year 1, #1. Bloodhound, #1. Black Adam, #1. Blade of the Immortal, #55. Blade of the Immortal, #56. Blade of the Immortal, #65. Blade of the Immortal, okay, whatever, 125. Blade of the Immortal, 128. The Blade of Komori, #2. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 8. I need new glasses. I can't even tell the number. I'm doing my video at. Yeah. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, 1 for 1, #1. Buffy the Vampire Slayer Willow. BPRD The Dead Remembered, #1. BPRD Hell on Earth New World, #1. BPRD 1946, #5. Billy the Kid's Old Time Oddities, #4. Bonds, #1. Blue, #1. The Bakers Meet Jingle Bell. It's a one-shot. Crossing Midnight from Vertigo Comics, #1. Captain Atom Armageddon from Wildstorm Comics, #1. Congorilla, #1. Concrete the Human Dilemma, #1. Concrete the Human Dilemma, #2. Countdown, The Search for Ray Palmer, Red Rain, #1. Conan and the Demon of Kitai, #3. Conan, #33. Conan, #28. Conan the Cimmerian, #17. Conan, 1 for 1, #1. CSI Dying in the Gutters, #1. Gil Grissom. Criminal Macabre, #1. Common. Okay, we're actually up to. I forgot this. Where the C's begin. BC. Okay, these are B's. Common Foe, #3. #4. The Chemist, #2. Common Foe, #1. Cobb, #1. Citizen Rex, #4. City of Heroes, number 1. Chase Variant, number 1. Vertigo's Dead Enders, number 1. Okay, we're up to D now, so I better... Then we have DC Specials Cyborg, number 1. DC and Wildstorm's Dream War, number 1. DC Universe Legacies, number 1. DC Universe Halloween Special from 2010, Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday. Dark Nemesis, number 1. Death of the New Gods, number 1. Death Wish, It's a Love Story, number 1. DV8 Gods and Monsters, number 1. Death Blow, number 1. Damnation, number 3. Drawing from Life, number 1. Dark Horse 20 Years, number 1. Deathlock, number 1. Deadlander, number 1. Draft It, 99-cent preview. Darkness Falls, The Tragic Life of Matilda Dixon. It's a one-shot. It's also based on the movie, yeah. Dark Horse Presents, number 93 and issue 95. Dark Horse Comics, number 6, Indiana Jones on the cover. El Zombo Phantasma, number 2. Engine Head, number 1. Enigma from Vertigo, number 1. Forgotten Worlds, The Halfling's Gem, number 1. Fear Effect, number 1.
Let me see that Forgotten Worlds real fast.
I'm not throwing it to you.
No, just let me see the cover.
Right here.
Oh, that's based on the book. That's Drizzt, the Dragonlance.
Flashpoint, Abin the Green Lantern. Actually, I can't believe out of this lot of DC and Wildstorm, I actually finished 2 series off, and I just bought them. They came out to 50 cents an issue. So, number 1, Abin Freaks of the Heartland, number 5. Final Crisis, Aftermath Run, number 1. Okay, I can reach the F's. And let's see what we got here. G.I. Joe Transformers, The Art of War, number 2. G.I. Joe Storm Shadow, number 6. Ghostbusters, number 3. Meanie Babies Guff, one shot. Grendel Tales, 4 Devils, 1 Hell, number 6. Grendel Tales, Devil's Choice, number 2. Grendel Devil's Legacy, number 5. Grendel Devil's Legacy, number 2. Grendel God and the Devil, number 3. Grendel Behold the Devil, number 3 of 8. And Behold the Devil, number 1. Here's where the G's are, so I can just put that. Godzilla Kingdom of Monsters, number 3. Gigantic, number 5. Garrison, number 1. Didn't believe I didn't have this one, but I didn't. Green Lantern, 80-page giant, number 1. Guide to the DC Universe, 2001 to 2002, number 1, Secret Files and Origins. Ghost Dancing, number 1. Now, on an older video you saw I got from Hippie's son, Tom, a bunch of spawns. And I was amazed because I got like 5 hell spawns in this slot. And 3 of them I didn't have. So I actually have, from the first 10, I need 1 issue, and I have the first 10 of hell spawn. Issue 2 I ended up getting. Issue 6. And issue 5. I also got The Hire, number 2. The Hire, number 1. Heroes Squared, number 5. Hellgate London, issue 0. The Helmet of Fate, Ibis the Invincible, number 1. Ion Guardian of the Universe, number 1, which I didn't have that. Now I'm starting the J's. Justice League, The New Frontier Special, number 1. Justice Society of America, 80-page giant. JSA, The Unholy, issue 3. Jimmy Olsen, one shot. Jack of Fables, number 1. Justice Society of America All-Stars, number 1. There's actually two different covers. I got one of the two. Then I got Commandy at Earth's End, number 1. Killapalooza, number 1. Lords of Misrule, number 5. Lone Wolf 2100, number 8. And I don't know the number on this one. Figures, they don't have it on the cover. But the red file. The last one, number 1. The Man with the Screaming Brain, number 2. Mr. Monster. Trying to think of what is this. But it's number 2. Memoir, number 1. Matador, number 1. Martha Washington Dies. The Mask Returns, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Moon Shadow, number 1. Martian Manhunter, number 1. The Mighty, number 1. Metamorpho Year 1, number 1. Midnighter, number 1. Monkey in a Wagon versus Lemur on a Big Wheel. Crisis with Infinite Critters, number 1. That's a mouthful. Okay, that does that box. Now we start the letter N. The New Dynamics, number 1. Ninja Scroll. I actually like the art cover on that, number 1. New York City Mech, number 1. Oh, it's damaged up there. Corner was bent. That sucks. Hopefully it has a nice... New York City Mech, number 5. The Next, number 1. Nemesis, number 1. They go over there. Our Fighting Forces, the Losers special. Oh My Goddess, Part 11, Mystery Child, number 7. Outlaw 7, number 3. Outlanders, book 15. Planetary Brigade from Boom Studios, number 3. Phoenix Resurrection, Dark Angel, Japanese anime, number 2. Point Blank, number 1. The Patriots, number 1. Pride and Joy, number 1. Peter Cannon, Thunderbolt, number 1. Predator Race War. This is another one. That actually finished my 4-issue miniseries, number 3. I was actually amazed at how it worked out on some of these. Razor's Edge, Warblade, number 1. Rush City, number 1. Ragman's Cry of the Dead, number 1. Robotech Sourcebook, number 1. Robotech Prelude to the Shadow Chronicles. Rising Stars, Voices of the Dead, number 1. Rising Stars, issue 14, issue 13, issue 11, issue 10. Rex Mundi, number 2, number 5, number 6, number 8. Rising Stars, number 9, Rising Stars 1/2, Rising Stars Bright, number 1, Rising Stars Bright, number 2, RoboCop Prime Suspects, number 1, Prime Suspects, number 2, Prime Suspects, number 3, Ripley's Believe It or Not, Dead Men's Tales, number 2 of 4, Star Wars Rebellion, number 14, The Shield, number 3, number 4, number 5, Spawn 172, Spawn 173, Spawn the Dark Ages, issue 20, Second Wave War of the Worlds, number 4, Sugar Shock, one shot, Superman Batman Annual, number 1, Suicide Squad From the Ashes, number 1, Stanley and His Monster, Stanley, number 1, Superman Last Stand of New Krypton, number 1, Star Spangled War Stories, Mademoiselle Marie, #1. Sugar and Spike, special. The Scream, #1. The Scream, #2. Seven Soldiers of Victory, Shining Knight, #1. Stormwatch, Post-Human Division, Armageddon, #1. Silent Dragon, #1. Okay, that's the S's. Then we have T's. Talent, #2. Transformers Generations, issue 2. And issue 2. I'm trying to think of one of these is a variant, so I have to put a V on it. Transformers Generations, issue 1. Tales of the Unexpected featuring the Spectre, #1. Testament, #1. Teen Titans Lost Annual, #1. Toe Tags featuring George A. Romero, #1. Thunderbolt Jackson, #1. Underworld, The Abyss, Hell Sentinel, #1. Uncle Sam and his Freedom Fighters, #1. I'm trying to think of, this is the 06 series. Uncle Sam and his Freedom Fighters, #1 of 8. This is the 07 series. Vertigo's The Geek, Corruption of the Innocent. Vertigo, Shadows Fall, #1. Oh God. Vimnarama, #1. I'm not good at pronouncing stuff. Villains United, #1. Vertigo Rave, #1. Warlands, #6. 4. Warlands Dark Tide Rising, #6. Welcome to Tranquility Armageddon, #1. We Will Bury You, #1. War Story Screaming Eagles, that's a one-shot. Wildcats Armageddon, #1. Witchfinder In the Service of Angels, #5. Witchfinder Lost and Gone Forever, #3. Welcome to Tranquility, #1. Wild Times Deathblow, #1. Wild Times Wetwork. These are all one-shots, so they're all Wild Times, so I figure I'm just going to put them under the W's and keep them all together. So, but that's it. I actually got probably over 100 doubles out of this lot. But as you can tell, my attic's coming along. I got this side of the wall up, border trimmed. I still have to get frames for most of my posters so I can start, but I started hanging up some of the pictures up on the wall, going up and down. Still got to get a couple pieces of molding put up. I'll just show this side off. Let me have the cam, but you can see going down. Then eventually that side I'm going to have a shelf going across right about there. So I'll actually have more boxes up on top of that. But yeah, there's Anthony reading a book. But that does it for this edition of King Joe's. As always, I thank you guys for viewing and subscribing.